My name is Gofere. I'm here to present how to write research for bachelor program. We will continue about the courses. There are 7 chapters. The first one is the basic concept of research. The second one is research problem identification. The third chapter is research design and sampling. The fourth one is source of data and the data collection. And the fifth one is data presentation and analysis. The sixth one is data discussion. The seventh one is reporting. Let us continue with the introduction part. Research is a scientific method in the phenomena of study. It is the process that includes the activity, the idea, the theory, and also the problem identification and the searching for collecting data. The other one, research in analyzing of data and the communicating the finding and its application. As I said, there are 7 chapters in these courses, and there is main purpose of this course. The first one is just basic understanding of research. And the other purpose is research problem identification, literature review, research design, sampling, and data collection techniques. The other purpose is how to report writing. There are 6 objectives of the course. The first one is explain the nature and the concept of research. The second objective is identify research problem. The third purpose is describe research design, sampling, and questionnaire development. The fourth objective of the course is source of data and systematic method of data collection. The fifth objective of the course is presenting and analyze the data. The sixth one is interpreting the data. The seventh one is reporting the data. Let us continue with chapter 1. Chapter 1, it says, what is research? Research is the word combination of 2 words, re and search. That means searching for truth or searching for something again and again. In the academic field, research is defining and redefining of the problem. Defining and redefining of the problem, formulating analysis or hypothesis, collecting and organizing data, and evaluating data. Making dedication and reaching conclusion for the result of the research. There are 4 objectives of research. When we define the research, there are 4 objectives that to answer when we are talking about the scientific procedure of the research. The first one is to gain familiar with the phenomena. One of the objectives is to gain familiar with the phenomena. The second one is to show accurate characteristics of a particular individuals or groups. The third objective of the research is to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated. The fourth objective of research is to test a hypothesis of causal relationship between variables. These are the 4 main objectives of the scientific procedure of research. When we understand the objective of the research, it is easy to memorize the subject itself. On your module, page 4 to 6, when we read through page 4 to 6, there are 3 types of research. research by process, research by purpose, and research by this objective and nature. When we see classification of research by process, it is reportive. This means the research provides an account or summary of some data. By its classification, when we are talking about the process of research, the first one is reportive, just summarizing some data. The second one is descriptive. This is the second classification of research as of its process. Descriptive study tries to discover answer to question who, what, when, where, and sometimes how. This is the descriptive process of research. Research by its process also classified as explanatory research. Explanatory research goes beyond description in the attempt to explain the phenomena which was only observed in the descriptive study. The fourth process is predictive. This is just forecasting the occurrence of phenomena. The other one is exploratory. This is the initial research conducted to clarify and define the nature of the problem. Exploratory is a method or the process that helps to clarify and define the nature of the problem. Just provide the background of the information. Maybe it could be qualitative or in the form of measurement or quantitative. When we see explanatory, there are three interrelated activities existed in exploratory research. The first one is diagnosis, the situation. The second one is scanning the alternatives. The third one is discovering the new idea. The sixth process of research type is quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative research is based on the measurement of quantity or amount. It is applicable to the phenomena that can be expressed in terms of quantity. Qualitative research, on the other hand, is concerned with the qualitative phenomena that related to the quality, the kind. The seventh process is analytic research. Analytic research is the research that has to use the fact or information already available. Classification of research by its purpose. The above classification are by its process, now by its purpose. Research divided based on the purpose. For example, business research. Business research is a research that classified based on its purpose. A systematic inquiry that provide information to guide some business decision to be carried out. The other one is social science research, is a research classified based on its purpose. The third one is techniques-oriented research. The fourth one is motivation research. Motivation research is a new field in the research area. Mostly it is about behavioral science, such as psychology, sociology, cultural anthropology are concerned with this study of human behavior, mostly motivational research. When the research is classified by its nature or objective, it is called as applied research. When we say applied research, is a research which is mostly focused or emphasize the nature. Applied research aims at the finding of a solution for the immediate problem facing a society or an industrial or business organization. The second research classification based on its nature is fundamental research. Fundamental research is mainly concerned with generalization and formulation of theory. Generalization, formulation of theory, and gathering knowledge for knowledge seekers. It is basically called basic research. Let us come to the characteristics of research. Still, we are in chapter 1. Research is precisely characterized by the following basic points. Originated with a question or problem. Requires clear articulation of a goal. Follow a specific plan or procedure. Often divided main problems into sub-problems. Guided by a specific problem, question, or hypothesis. The other characteristic is accept certain critical assumptions and requires collection and interpretation of data. Let us see the significance of research. There are some significances of research, mostly in the field of business and others. The first one is to cope with the modern environment. The other significance of research is to analyze relationship of variables. The relationship of variables. We will discuss about variables in the coming chapters. The third one is to make decisions to obtain better results. That is one of the significance. The fourth significance of research is to assess to the knowledge or information to the better compete. The fifth significance of research is to bring economic, social, and political development. The sixth significance of research is to meet aspiration of people, expectation from the business and the government. The seventh one is to extract meaningful information or knowledge from volume of the data, from the collected data. The eighth one is to warehouse and store data in the electronic form. The ninth significance of research is to cope up with increased research communication and the measurement of techniques. Cope up with the increasement. There are characteristics of research. Already we discussed the significance and the meaning and the purpose. But what is the criteria for good research? There are few criteria. One of the criteria of good research is the purpose of research should be clearly defined in the common concept. One of the criteria is that research should be clear and clear defined. The other one is it should be described in the sufficient detail to permit another research to repeat the research for the further advancement. The other criteria for good research is a research should be carefully planned. Without plan, it is a kind of just spending time. The other criteria for good research is research should report with complete frankness. The fifth criteria for good research is that research analysis of data should be sufficiently adequate to reveal its significance. Should be sufficiently adequate to reveal its significance. The seventh criteria for good research is should be confined to those testified by the data of the research. The seventh one is greater confidence in research is warranted if the researcher are experienced, has a good reputation in research, and it is personal integrity. There are 4 qualities of good research. We discussed the criteria, the character. Now, we are talking about the quality of good research. There are 4 qualities. Good research is systematic. Good research is logical. And good research is empirical. That means it is more aspects of real situation, or it deals with concrete idea, replicable. Let us see the process of research. Already we discussed what the research. We discussed about the research, the classification of research, and the type and the objective of research, the type of the classification of research based on the process, purpose, and the nature. The other one, already we discussed the characteristics, the significance, the criteria, the quality, all are shows and speaks about what is research. Now, let us come to the process of research. The process of research. This is the final part of chapter 1. Let us see the process. There are at least 7 items or 7 issues or 7 activities in the steps to have effectively carried out research. To write a very good and desired sequential research, there are 10 steps. The first one is formulating research problem. Means that you have to have an idea or a topic that shows the gap. Formulating research problem. Means that you have to have the topic, research problem. Means the gap. Or it is a kind of reason why you want to write this research. You have to show the gap. And in other ways, it is your topic. It is your topic. It is your topic. After you develop a research problem and identify the research problem, you have to see some additional books and literatures. The second one is extensive literature survey. Literature survey. The second is literature survey. The third one is developing the hypothesis of your research. That is the third process. The fourth process is preparing the research design. Means that you have to develop your research plan, your research plan, your research plan, literature, and then design, research design. After literature helps you to have more knowledge about the area. It helps you to add more additional information. Then you have to continue to the design. The fifth one is sampling design, namuna. Sampling design, namuna. You have to determine the sample design, your target group. You have to determine it. You have to know it. The third one is collecting of the data, collecting of information. There are many methods we will discuss in chapter 2 and chapter 3 about the data collection. But here, one of the process for the research is collecting data. That is the sixth one. The seventh one is analysis of the data. Collecting data by itself is meaningless. You have to analyze and interpret. Your data has to speak. The eighth one is hypothesis testing. As we say in number 2, in number 2, developing the hypothesis. You have to have suggestion. You have to have suggestion. Hypothesis ማለት መላምት ማለት ነው. Then you have to test it. Whether your hypothesis is right or not, one of the processes is testing your hypothesis. The ninth one is generalization and interpretation of the data. Number 10 is preparation of the report or presentation of your research finding or the result. Conducting research does not mean just reporting. Conducting research does not mean reporting, but bring findings, present findings, and shows your result, the outcome. Thank you very much. This is all about chapter 1. Let us continue chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about defining the research problem, and it speaks about the literature survey. The first steps in designing research is identifying research problem. It is a researcher's perception or recognition of a problem that motivates research. A problem existed when we do not have enough information to answer the question. Then you have to ask why such problem is happened, why such problem is going on. When you develop a research problem, a researcher expected to develop or express a research problem in the interrogative form. Question mark. You have to ask the question. For example, if I say assessing conflict in the conflict management in the case of one organization or selected organization, then after you develop this topic, you have to ask, what is conflict? You have to ask and the source and the type and some kinds of factors contribute for that. For example, as it is written or your module, what are the effects of workers' performance on different types of incentive? This is interrogative question. The second question on your module, it says, what are the influences of improper budgeting? The goal of research in all the process or the cases would be to seek answer for the question. Your topic is your question. There are some criteria of research problem. Every problem selected for research must be satisfy the following criteria. If you develop a research problem or a research topic, it should be original. It should be original. It should be neither very general nor very specific. It should be solvable. Solve it. It should be visible. Let us continue with the literature review on page 11 of your module. Dear student, when you read about the literature, it helps you for additional knowledge. You have to understand that literature is not the summary of and organizing the previous research finding, but learning and understanding the subject or the subject matter which is related to your research problem or research topic, or the area that you expect to write on. It is identifying the gap and justifying the proposed research. Literature review helps you to identify the problem, and it helps you to produce your proposal. It helps to find some truths and some gaps. Literature review is not intended to be just a summary of article or a book that you read, but it should not be list of the name of the authors that agree with you or disagree. But a good literature review has a great purpose for your writing, for your research. It is a source of data by itself. Literature review is the source of your data. The source of your data. The source of your data. Let us see on page 11 of your module. Let us see the purpose. There are 5 purposes of literature review. The existed document, the existed books, the written or published books. When we say literature, there are written and the published books, literature or journals, articles, news, and so on. 1. The literature review can trace the historical evaluation of the study problem. The second one, it provides semantic of the different school thoughts. Number 3, it examines the study problem from several differences of discipline. It helps you to examine the study itself. The fourth one, literature review can examine the position of different stakeholders. What about other things about your research? Maybe about administrators, public administrators, citizens, and non-profit organizations. It examines the stakeholders. It raises different conceptual schools of thought that emerge over time and that may be currently taking, opposing, or conflicting with the view of your topic. Literature review has considered as early crucial steps in designing and conducting all research. I will repeat. Review of literature has considered as a crucial early steps in the designing and conducting of all research. It has been defined as a systematic, explicit, reproductive method for identifying, evaluating, interpreting the existing body of recorded work produced by researchers, scholars, and practitioners. Look, literature review is the process whereby a researcher identifies and examines research done by scholars that is relevant to the topic under investigation. There are patterns of research. When we see the section of literature, organized literature, there are some patterns. Page 12, 13, 14. The first one is topical order. When you see the literature review and when you organize the literature, you have to understand the topical order. Means that organize by main topics or issue and emphasize the relationship of issues to the problem, the main topic. The second one is chronological order. Means that historical progression in terms of time. Maybe old, it could be old, new. The third one is problem, cause, solution. The fourth one is general to specific order. The fifth one is noun to unknown order. The sixth one is comparison and contrast study. The seventh one is specific to general order. All these are the patterns that helps us to gather literature review section. When you review the literature, you have to understand the topic. If the topic is related with your research topic, or if the chronology is near and more contribute for your literature or written, or for your research problem. If the book is so old, sometimes it is not relevant. When you are focusing and organizing literature review, you have to know the problem and the cause that is mentioned in that old book or new book or the articles. Page 16 of your module. Research proposal. After you develop or identify research problem and read through literature review, you have to start producing of your proposal. Proposal is the first written statement of your research. The written proposal statement is often required when a study is being suggested. It assures that the parties or the group understand the project's purpose and the proposed method of investigation. Cost and the time budget are often spelled out, as are other responsibilities and the obligations. Depending upon the needs and desire of the client, there may also be substantial background in the detail and the elaboration of proposal techniques. The content of every proposal, regardless of language, should include into two basic sections. The first one is problem statement. The second one is proposal itself. Your research proposal has two parts: research problem and research statement. After you develop the proposal, the next one is research plan. Research plan. Another format is still essential. A proposal is the formal research plan. Proposal by itself, it is a research plan. Research plan. Let us see the outline of proposal. The outline of the proposal. Number one, statement of research. Statement of research. What you expect to do. The second one, statement of problem questions. Statement of research objective, statement of problem question or hypothesis. By what method? The third one is each major concept. The fourth one is statement of investigation question. The third, the outline of the proposal. The fifth outline is specifying research techniques to be used. The seventh one, the sixth one is describing the sample plan of your proposal. When you develop your proposal, you have to have a time schedule. You have to have a budget. Number 7, report result of plot study. Number 8, reporting time and the cost budget. These all are the proposal outline. What are the general contents of research proposal? The general contents of research proposal. When we see the research proposal, there are some contents. The first one is background of the study. The second one is statement of the problem, where you explain your problem and why you want to write this research and your expectation. C, or number 3 of the component, the content is. One of the content of proposal is objective of the study. General objective and specific objective. General objective is your research main topic. Your specific objectives are breakdown of your research problem. The fifth one is specific objective. The sixth one is research hypothesis or research suggestion. The seventh one is research question. There are two types of question: specific question and main research question. Main research question is your research topic. Main research question is your main topic, your topic. Your specific research questions are the breaking down of your main topic. 8, scope and the limitation of the study. When we say limitation, the shortage may be time, maybe money, and other shortages. When we say the scope, what is your research included? The main parts of your research topic. The main ideas or the main areas that your research conclude or include and emphasis, give emphasis. Without any emphasization, it is impossible. For example, if you want to write about one organization and there are other sister organizations, Your scope should be 2 or 1 organization. Number 10 is significance of the study. What is the contribution of your research? When we say significance, the contribution of your research. You have to explain its contribution. The other one, still we are in chapter 2. The other one is literature review. This is the main part. Brief review of related literature. Operational definition, conceptual framework. You have to explain when you write and develop your proposal. You have to show the literature what kind of document helps you. And the other one, you have to show your method. When you develop your proposal, you have to explain the method, research method. Which method helps you when you write your main research body. For example, maybe your research method could be descriptive. Maybe the sample techniques and the sample size is expected. Source and the method of data collection is expected. Theoretical research techniques to be used there, and the method of data analysis should be explained in chapter before you start write the main research topic. Then I will repeat. When you write and develop your research problem, first you have to understand the relevancy. And you have to ask questions. And you have to know the criteria of good research problem. The topic should be original, neither very general, specific. It should be thought-able and visible. The other one, the second one is when you start to write and develop, you have to develop a research, a literature. You have to read some other books and additional books. Those books help you to understand the subject area and the study areas. And it helps to identify the gaps and justify the proposal. And when you read the literature, you have to understand the purpose of the literature. There are 5 purposes as is mentioned in your module. Not only that, you have to know the pattern of literature review. There are at least 7 patterns. You have to focus on those 7 patterns. After this, you have to develop research proposal. Research proposal is a plan. It is a plan, and it is a design. You have to develop the design. You have to have a plan. Without that, there are 2 types of proposal. It has 2 bodies, problem statement, and including also what is expected. There are formal research plan. There are 8. The first one is objective and questions, investigation, and concept, plot study, sampling plan, and cost and the time. There are components. The components are background of the study, statement of the problem, objective of the study, general objective of the study, specific object of the study, research hypothesis, and research questions, scope and the limitation, significance of the study, literature review, and research methodology. All are part of research problem, or developing proposal and defining research problem.